Let's just get settled. Hi, Sasha. So if you are sitting in front of a desk, which some of you are, just have your feet so have them in a parallel position flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. And then your knees the same, about a hip's width apart. So what you would want to make sure of is that the back of the legs aren't kind of being somehow, the blood in the back of the legs isn't being constricted. So if your legs are a little bit shorter, you might want to put something underneath your feet, like a cushion or something. Have your knees are about hips width apart, sitting on top of your sits bones, and shoulders are aligned with your hips. And then just imagine your neck is maybe lengthening ears. So someone's got the tips of your ears like Mr. Spock ears, and you're lengthening up and gliding back. You just kind of, the whole body is falling into place. Imagine this beautiful spine of yours. It's a string of pearls of light. And put some space in between those vertebrae. And imagine maybe someone is above you, just very gently lengthening your spine by just very gently, just very gently pulling on this string. Take a nice deep breath. Now bring your attention to the crown of the head and just release any tension there. Maybe you can feel some sensation. Relax the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, all that area around the mouth, the back of the tongue, the jaw, the back of the head. Maybe your temples, the back of the neck, and allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to just kind of drop down, relaxing your elbows. And relax the throat and your chest. Just release any tension in your belly. And relax all the limbs, hands and fingers and feet and toes. Just notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. And allow your mind to be aware of the sounds around. Perhaps it's a pet or a person or some sounds from outside. And just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to follow them with the mind. And then just start to be aware of what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And just allow all this information to arise. It could be color or movies, future tripping, planning, thinking, anger. And just allow it very gently to arise, or your awareness to kind of focus in, and then just try not to follow the story. Engage. And then just see what happens. Where do those thoughts go? Don't give them any energy. They're just going to disappear. So take it a step back and just look at it as if you're a scientist. You're sort of observing your mind. Try not to have any opinions about what it is you're seeing. Just allow it. What's really important is that you get just start to become aware of what's there. So then bring to mind some people of your life. You can start with the ones you love, your loved ones. Could be your best friend, could be your spouse, children. There's a variety of, intensity of love. And then there's the ones we don't like so much. We have aversion for them. We want to push them away. And then we have our strangers, and they can all change place at any time, these relationships. And they're all equal in their wish to be happy. They wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary, unbelievable capacity for a Buddha mind, enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation, this purification meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. There may be people in your life right now, or you may have seen something floating across the news, or you've heard something. May just bring that person to mind. So I received a message from Coral today about the niece or daughter of a friend of hers, maybe niece, just gone missing. So it's just this terrible, terrible feeling of not knowing what has happened. So for all the missing people out there, maybe we do this practice for them as well. Okay. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification practice we're doing, it's basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. This practice of Vajrasattva is done in the context of the four opponent powers. First one is regret. So regret is not like guilt. Guilt is like, oh God, I did something really bad. I'm a horrible person. It's very, very unhelpful to talk to yourself that way. So regret is so much healthier. It's like, shining a light on maybe some bad habit that you have that's harmful to yourself and others. Creating some awareness around how you are in the world, how you impact others. It's fantastic. So first of all, just be so happy to have seen something, and then just, okay, so that I don't want to do this. It's almost like it's very adult to sort of take responsibility. So not guilt, regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you've done to harm anyone on this day, in this life, and all past lives. And you can think of anything you've done with your body or your speech or your mind. And the main reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. So everything we experience is due to our past actions, our past karma. So if we harm others, it's going to come back, hit you in the face. So given that we have already quite enough suffering to deal with, we don't want any more. So it makes sense. Sort of kind of pull out all those weeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. So we also regret our delusions, anger, attachment, and the rest, which are the cause of why we harm others. So we're just kind of sick of this suffering and want to do something about it. So here we come to the power of reliance. It has two little sections. One is refuge. We have this inner refuge where we take refuge in our own potential. our own light, in our own wisdom, our own light. Then we have the outer refuge. So the outer refuge in this particular practice is Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva we don't see as like a kind of an icon or a statue. It's a Buddha who has this, like a doctor, has this beautiful medicine that we can use to purify ourselves. And purification also is a little bit, can be a little bit of a trigger for some people. So think of it as healing. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit if you have a teacher. And just imagine this beautiful, radiant, white light Buddha sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and a beautiful, radiant face with long lotus-like eyes. They're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. You can imagine the way he's sitting, symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom, infinite compassion, his arms crossed at his heart. The left hand closest to the heart, the right on top. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And then we have this little bit about compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think of someone you may have harmed recently or in the past, and then maybe think of people who've harmed you. Particularly have compassion for them, this wish for them to be free from suffering. Because the harm they've caused you is going to result as harm for them in the future. Now we come to the power of a remedy. This is taking the actual medicine, doing the practice of purification. We start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. It arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. It keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any sentient being, any living being, with your body in the form of inky liquid. And just imagine it pouring out of you and disappearing into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakra A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakra A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakra A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakra A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sakra A Hom Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dira meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiata sawakama sitame, sitam shriam kuruhum, ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa, mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasafa dina patita, Dira meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiata sawakama sitame, Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And now we come to the purification of our speech. And imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. It arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shriam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ah Hompe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dina Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa savasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hompe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dina meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawakama sita me sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And this includes yourself because you'll be hearing it. So next is a purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So you imagine you've walked into a pitch black room, you flick on that switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So just the same here, the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and anger and bitterness and grudges and depression, anxiety, resentment, all your, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatta Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And now is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And you imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar that fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind stream. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anarakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shiam Kuruhum, ha 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 ho, Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa, Mahasamaya Satra A Hompe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Situkaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve. And this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. So it kind of backs on this idea of regret, because you regret, you want to do something about it. So here's our opportunity. We make a decision and we make a determination to not harm or to refrain from harming with our body and our speech and our mind. And so this aspiration to not harm becomes like a beacon that guides our body and our speech and our mind in new directions. And maybe think of something you'd like to work on that maybe you have an awareness of that is maybe harmful. Might not even be a big thing, but maybe it kind of confuses people, or, just something. And then rejoice in your efforts to be here, particularly everyone from who it's like 11:30 at night now for some of you guys. So rejoice, amazing. And then, Gabe in Australia, it's the middle of the day. She's taking her lunch break now. So, and the rest of us, it's actually also bedtime for the rest of us. So anyway, rejoice in your efforts of coming along. Think of something you'd like to work on, even if it's only just for a couple of seconds in the day, drawing your attention to it. And imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So, Rinpoche then would recommend we do a little bit about emptiness. So we think like this in these practices. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so here we do a little bit of few verses every night for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, chanting the names of Manjushri as recommended by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, aware of all the aptitudes of beings while captivating every creature's mind with insight into aggregated natures, himself with fully pure five aggregates, atop the peak of every going forth, most skilled in going forth in every way, established on all paths of going forth, the teacher of all forms of going forth, uprooting all becoming with 12 links, endowed with purity in all 12 forms, he's formed the way of fourfold noble truth with realization of the eightfold knowledge. So everybody, thank you very much. Good night. Let's dedicate for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. And then all of you probably have your own teachers, geshis, Western teachers who you rely on and communicate with and who are guiding you in some way. So make a strong wish for them to live long as well. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Lots of love. I'll see some of you tomorrow morning.